Hi, I'm Lily Lee. I'm a professor here at Mechanical Engineering at Bucknell. Here's a chance to get to know me. I truly enjoy my interaction with students, and they're in my office all the time, especially around this time towards the end of the semester. And I just get to know them on a personal level. They are extremely creative. A lot of our classes are open-ended project-based, so you really get to see students' own ideas and creativity come to an actual product that they build at the end of the semester, and I'm always really impressed at just their own independence at figuring things out. It's a very straightforward path. So I went to Smith College for undergrad, majored in engineering there. And then after undergrad, directly went to a PhD program at Penn State. So I studied architectural engineering at Penn State, got my PhD officially last year, and I started working at Bucknell in actually 2024. I study how building uses energy. And so I study the different types of energy, so heating the building, cooling a building, electricity. Most recently, I've come to study the relationship of buildings with the electric grid, and how we could sort of move together as one, and how buildings can be used to alleviate some of the pressure on our electric grid right now. So I don't have students in my lab right now, but last year I had a few data science fellows. A lot of my work is computation-based, so as a group of data science students, we looked at the Bucknell energy data from our buildings, and they've looked at a couple machine learning methods to be able to better predict how much energy our buildings use on campus. I would say research-wise, I've always wanted to eventually be able to model the entire Bucknell campus. So know what's going on in every single building, energy-wise, and then just have a really good district model of how much we use energy, what's gonna happen in 10 years, 20 years. So it needs a lot of data to validate and a lot of effort, but that would be my dream. The class I'm teaching right now for juniors is certainly a fun one. It's actually one of those joint project classes with mechanical design. So at the end of the semester, students build their own vehicle loaded with sensors, with programs on the Arduino board that has to literally traverse a track, carrying load and complete certain tasks. It's just such an open-ended project. I think it's such a shift in the mindset to go from a graduate student or student mindset to a faculty. The biggest difference is students look at you as someone who holds all the answers for them. And that kind of assumes a lot of responsibility. And at first, I had to really get used to that. But eventually I sort of started to figure out that a lot of times they're not just looking for an answer, they're also looking for support, and it's okay to learn with them. It's okay to teach them how to teach themselves. So that, I would say, is definitely the biggest transition for me at this job. I was really fortunate to have great mentors along the way, so both in undergrad and grad school. I would even say I learned more about teaching and mentoring from them directly, and then they also exposed me to opportunities like guest lecturing in their classrooms, and creating small modules for their curriculum. So I got some experience with that before starting here at Bucknell. But it's really, I think in terms of teaching, I'm just learning every day, right? Sometimes I have a question, I talk to my colleagues and I ask them, so how did you teach this module? And they'll tell me and I get inspired. So it's really just picking up small things along the way that is now in my toolkit, I guess. I guess I'm pretty big on sort of the outdoors, especially camping. My partner and I, we do a lot of car camping, and every spring and every summer we plan sort of a big road trip. So the most recent one we did was around Grand Canyon. So we did an entire loop from Phoenix all the way up to the Utah border and then down. It took about a week, and we just camp in our cars and hike along the way, check out cool stuff. We learned a lot about rocks on that trip. But yeah, so I would say that's probably my biggest passion right now.